Meanwhile, President Trump says he expects that the U.S. could be running and extracting oil from Venezuela's reserves for years. The comments came after U.S. forces seized 2 oil tankers yesterday over ties to Venezuela. New CBS polling shows a majority of Americans disapprove of his decision to remove Nicolas Maduro from power in the first place. I want to bring in senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata to talk more about this. Charlie, what have we learned in just the last 24 hours since those military operations yesterday?
Yeah, Vlad, a lot. I want to focus first on the Bella one because there were 2 oil tankers that were seized yesterday, roughly the same time. But the one in the North Atlantic is the one we're focusing on. Why? Because it had been reflagged, rebranded as a Russian oil tanker. The Russians did this a few weeks ago. It's worth noting that the United States did try to intercept that oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela back December 21st. And the crew wasn't going to allow that. So it started setting sail off to the North Atlantic. So it was finally captured between the UK and Iceland yesterday. But what makes this important is Navy SEALs were involved in the capture of the Bella One. It was rebranded and reflagged as the Marinera, not the Marinara like the sauce, by the Russians a few weeks ago, with the idea that that might serve as a deterrent, that the United States wouldn't dare try to take a Russian-flagged oil tanker. And they even sent a submarine to escort it. The Americans got there first. And it's also worth noting, along with those Navy SEALs, the U.S. Army's 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment. These are the same teams that were part of the Maduro extraction. These are the same teams that were part of the Osama bin Laden extraction. So these are essentially the aircraft that bring in the special forces like the Navy SEALs. So that was a special forces directed and operated capture of that particular tanker because of where it was and the fact that it's flagged Russian. In fact, that we have seen lots of aircraft, U.S. aircraft, going in and out of the UK, the closest place where we have bases there, including the P-8 Poseidon, which is a surveillance aircraft. It's sometimes called a submarine hunter. So all of that is because that's a sort of next-level capture. On the other side of that, you've got the Sophia, which is off the coast of Venezuela. That was actually in open waters in the Atlantic. That was a more traditional, if you like, capture of an oil tanker where you had Coast Guard Special Forces. They took it over without incident. And now that makes 4 carriers. Worth noting that the Bella was essentially empty. It wasn't carrying any oil on it. But the Sophia was loaded. And like the 2 other tankers that were captured in that area, it will likely make its way to the United States.
From Washington for us this morning, Charlie, as always, we appreciate you.